Now follow me as we ride, going up, getting high. Biggest flips in the sky, biggest flips in the sky, biggest flips in the sky.
Yeah, Malo Point is what we can get into, which I'm gonna have to say, I did have a look and I did think about it briefly, but yeah, Wiley.
Amazing.
Wiley,
Big talking point. Big talking point.
So set that off me. So let's hear what you got to say on that. That's a good one.
I think I'm not gonna say I've been the biggest Wiley fan.
Yeah.
Wait, this thing's messing around. Alright, cool. So I'm not gonna say I've been the biggest Wiley fan always, but what happened to him last year, sorry, was probably the biggest low light for me, as he's someone that I feel he stands for what he means and what he says, and he's always done that, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, and to be able to get shut down at the efficient speed he got shut down, that's a disrespect, man. Like, there's flipping R. Kelly, yeah? He's been pissing on girls' blood from way back, yeah? And no one's shutting him down, but Wiley, he wants to say a few words, and then
YubTub gone, Twitter gone, Insta gone, you name it, we shutting it down.
No ramping. And I do hear, like, it's on social media, he put it out on there like that. But then again, like, because...
But look, no, actually, go on, finish.
But just because of, like, he does have a bit of influence, but I don't think he has, like, the biggest influence. Like, for example, if it was a Drake or, I don't know, Kevin Hart. Say?
Like Stormzy, let's keep it UK, for example.
Stormzy, yeah. If it was a Stormzy that did that, then it makes sense, because he's got such longevity now. He's such a person right now. Yeah. So yeah, for me it makes sense. But reason why to shut, why, I don't know.
I'm devil's advocate here, but I'm gonna let GB talk.
So okay, cool. I have a lot to say on this. But yeah, firstly, like you were saying, Musa, I'm not like a Wiley stan. Like, I'm not like I don't have all of his albums. I haven't listened to everything, but I appreciate him as an artist, and I appreciate what he's done for music, for the UK. I'll always have that appreciation. So now, when it came to everything that went on, that transpired last year, with him that caused him to get, basically booted off of every single social media site that he had. Yeah, I feel like we need to look at it at an institutional level, where it's like, this always happens. So like, when it comes to, I don't know if you guys remember a few years back when Soulja Boy and Chris Brown were gonna have a fight. Over social media and stuff like that. That was never a problem. So I'm saying, as in, two black men coming onto social media, making fools out of themselves, spewing ignorance, saying this, that, the other. That is not a problem for, the CEOs or, the heads of YouTube or Instagram or whoever it is, or Twitter. You rich black men can be ignorant in that sense. That's fine. You're attracting more people to our platform, and you're being dumb as hell. So you're just living up to the stereotype that, people, or this type of the world has of you. Cool, that's one thing. Wiley came out, and all he said was his experience of people that he's interacted with in his career. Yeah. So I guess basically what you're saying, when he's highlighting those things, it's made the wrong people uncomfortable. And when you're like, an influential black man, yeah, I've realized that people don't like it when you're enlightening or you're spreading light on things that are happening to your own people or the injustices that are happening to your own people. So Wiley was speaking his own truth, and we've seen the consequences of what of 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 him speaking his truth. Like, he's been booted off of everything. But if Malcolm X and if Fred Hampton, these guys were still alive today, spreading all of the stuff that they were spreading then, the same thing would happen. They wouldn't be able to have Insta lives because they'd be getting kicked off continuously. So it's like, it just goes to show, like, when you have that kind of position and you're that powerful, and you're able to attract, your voice is able to attract so many people, and people are listening to you. Certain people that are high up, or they don't like that. They don't want that. So it kind of just goes to show that this is what the plight is for black people. Because Donald Trump can go on on a whole TV, or in front of the whole world, and say the virus came from China, or mimic Chinese people and say this, that, and the other, and spew racist rhetoric. His Twitter has not been removed from him. It's not been revoked. He's still here living his life. So what does that say? Like, who are you talking to when you remove Wiley off of all of his social media and stuff like that? What message are you trying to put out? Like, are we just supposed to keep quiet all the time? But that's my take on it. I want to hear what you have to say, because you said you were going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah. So like I totally agree with everything you guys are saying, but there is a big but there, and this is the part that we haven't looked at. And the part we haven't looked at is when we talk, we're not talking on our platforms. And when we speak, when we publish something, we're not publishing something on our platforms. It's not a platform owned by a black guy. So to expect that person to relate is totally one thing, isn't it? But personally, you have to think about it this way: the Jewish people that are in power, Jewish people that have rose to power, should I say, are protecting something that less than 100 years ago they were being gassed, like 1945, 1941, whatever, innit? Less than 100 years ago, we could just put it like that. So if you had something taken away from you and you now have power, so let's just say, for example, we have, YouTube is black owned, right? And a KKK guy gets up there and starts saying something outlandish. Are we not expecting that to be taken down?
Yeah.
If YouTube was owned by a black-owned person.
Yeah, and the KKK guy gets up there and starts saying something mad. Are you expecting that to be taken down? Yes or no?
I mean, I get YouTube. Okay, so I guess
anything. It doesn't matter, because what I'm personally trying to say is that when you've been as low as they have, like we have, the only difference is that they've been able to rise to a power where they can control the narrative and how it goes. I'm sure if we could, we'd be doing the same thing. We're just not in position to. So when you've got Wiley saying that all Jews are racist, bro, that was
very telling.
Yeah, but his tweet was all Jews are racist, bro. That was his tweet. All Jewish people are racist. That's his tweet. Wiley had to be more articulate about it. Like, if you're gonna say something and you're gonna say something that derogatory, you need to be more articulate about it, because
he definitely had to be more articulate about it. Definitely, I agree. But does that warrant him being kicked off of every single social media platform that he has?
Yes, if you're playing in a Jewish man's game. If you look at Facebook and how much companies Facebook owns and XYZ, then of course, bro, like you literally, if you want to do that, have a backup in it, like, because it's literally like me going. Let me think of an example. I've gone to Jamaica and I've dissed Jamaica and I'm not expecting any rebuttal, right? You've gone onto a platform, that's owned by XYZ, and you're gonna go offend their founders and their CEOs and the people that are in high positions.
But the YouTube reference was quite good, I think. Like, if you owned YouTube, yeah, YouTube's your thing, and then someone come on your thing, a KKK member or someone's come and they're shouting racial slurs towards your people, what are you gonna do?
They would get shut down. But if they were shouting racial slurs to any group of people, they don't have to be black, they would get shut down either way. But my whole point is with the Wiley situation is cool. If we're gonna say fine, it was warranted for him to have been, you know, kicked off of his YouTube, his Twitter, his Insta, this, that, and the other. Do you still think that that would happen if Wiley was white, or if it was a Jewish man that wrote "All Jews are racist" and those series of tweets?
For sure, 100%. If it's
Do you
Jewish,
think they're still receiving that same level of punishment if they're not
100%.
black?
100%. I don't think it does. I don't think it's the person. I think it was the target. It was the target way more than the person. Like 100%. I think if you look at so many examples, these men have pull, and I can't even knock the hustle, bruv, because you've come from nothing in that regards, isn't it? Like I can't knock it, and why I definitely can't knock it is because we get onto social, we go onto the platforms and cry about it. They just shut it down, innit? Like how can I be mad about that? I would love to be able to shut it down, bro. Like that's exactly what they do. They do what we wish we could do. And what we should be doing is taking that as an example rather than crying about it. Like, yo, we need to get our own platforms and get our own things going. Remember, we are the party, bro. I don't care what no one says. Shit ain't popping till we're there, innit? So if we had our own things and was like, yo, let a man try it. Bow, gone. Done your whole life. Because the same way that you can say that record labels, social media platforms, what's the highest selling music? Hip hop. When people are on social media, who are they following? Whose trends are they using? Whose words and slang are they using? Like, if we were to think and be like, right, you know, we are actually the party, and like, okay, we can bring things into our own hands and make it happen, we'd be able to control the narrative. But realistically, it's just easier to be a consumer.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Now follow me as we ride, going up, getting high. Biggest flips in the sky, biggest flips in the sky, biggest flips in the sky. Now follow me as we ride, going up, getting high. Biggest flips in the sky, biggest flips in the sky.
Roaches in the ashtray, I resurrect one like a phoenix. The way it rises from the ashes, I light it, pull it.